Well, hello again, everyone. This is the In My Grow Show, the podcast dedicated to taking the mystery out of cannabis. And as always, I'm Alex. Once again, I want to thank all the musicians who allow me to use their music to put this show together. And I especially want to thank you for listening. So before I really get started into the show, I want to send out my love to everyone dealing with Hurricane Florence and everyone dealing with the huge typhoon out in the Philippines. It's not an easy thing to have to evacuate your home because of a natural disaster and deal with everything that happens afterwards. I just want everybody to be safe and keep an eye out for each other, because I truly believe that communities overcome these things a lot faster when they come together. So nothing but love for everybody out there, and be safe. Wow, that music's kind of loud. Let me turn that down. All right, now let's talk about the strain of the week. And this time it is the Purple Urkel. Now the Urkel is an indica, but it's not a very heavy indica, in my opinion. I like to use it if I've made rocket fuel instead of coffee. It's a really good flower to really counteract the over-caffeinated Alex. Now, according to Leafly, Purple Urkel is a California strain, and the origins are believed to stem from a select phenotype of Mendocino purps, with an essence of skunk, berry, and fresh grapes. So if you're looking for an indica that's not going to give you total couch lock, try the Purple Urkel. I had to say that a few times. I got tongue-tied. So a crazy thing happened to me a couple of days ago when I'm driving to work. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. There's a lake nearby where I live called Lake Casitas. All summer long I've been seeing deer, and a couple of times I've spotted the deer hanging out on the edge of the road, like they're not sure if they're going to jump out in front. And I've been lucky so far up until a couple of days ago. It was about 6 a.m. I'm driving past the lake. I see this deer hanging out on the side of the road, just staring at me. We locked eyes. I slow down to about 50 miles an hour. And just as I'm about to pass him, he darts out in front of me. Now, how do I know it was him? Because he had some horns. It was a young buck. Had about 3 points on him. But anyways, he darts out in front of me, and I hit him straight on. Bam! I see his ass fly in the air, and it was a pretty foggy morning, so I didn't really see where he landed on the other side of the road. In the ditch, more than likely. But I hit him pretty good. I hit him pretty solid. So I pull over to the side of the road. I check out the front end of my truck, and my daily driver is a 98 Ford Ranger. So I get over, I check the side, I check the front end. There's no damage. There's a lot of deer hair on there. But nothing, and I was stunned because I hit this deer pretty good. And I was just amazed there was no damage, man. So the moral of the story is, a 98 Ford Ranger can take a pretty good hit from a deer when you're traveling at 50 miles an hour. It's a crazy thing. It was a crazy thing. The crazier thing was, about 2 years ago, on that same stretch of road, I hit an owl. Like an owl flew straight into me. What else am I up to? So I've started to put the podcast up on SoundCloud, but I'm having to do it one at a time, like having to load one episode at a time, because SoundCloud doesn't take an RSS feed, or at least if it does, I haven't figured out how. If you know how it does it, let me know so I can do it. But anyways, so okay, a little podcasting 101. When you sign up to start a podcast from a podcast hosting service, I use a company called Libsyn. They give you what's called an RSS feed or an RSS link. And what I use that link for, that feed for, is I'll go up to a podcast site like Stitcher and I'll put up my RSS feed up there. So what Stitcher does is they'll check the RSS feed every day automatically to see if there's new content that has to be uploaded onto their site, which makes it real easy for me because I just have to do it one time with apps like Stitcher, and they just upload new content automatically. SoundCloud doesn't do that. SoundCloud, I have to take every episode and load it up individually. So I'm in the process of doing that. So that's going to take me a little while. Not too long. Should take me about a week, week and a half, depending on how much time I have to give to it. So yeah, so soon the podcast will be up on SoundCloud. And also, if you've been following me on social media, mostly on Instagram, you can find us at In My Grow. I posted up a link for WeedCon 2018. And I'm going to have one of the organizers on the show a little later. I had a phone interview with her, a really nice lady named Patri. So WeedCon is a convention for entrepreneurs, growers, and consumers who are over 21. And it's going to be one part, speakers, live music, and they're also going to have a weed cup. And the weed cup is going to have different competition categories. Indica, sativa, hybrid, you're going to have your flowers, your concentrates for those. Best CBD flower, best CBD concentrate, best edibles, best drinks, topicals, best overall products. But the one I'm excited about is this one, the very one at the bottom. It says best amateur flower. Okay, now for the rest of these categories, you have to be a licensed producer, a licensed company to enter. But for this best amateur flower, you can be a home grower and enter your flower. That is an awesome thing. I encourage, if you're a home grower, to enter this competition. Because if you place first, second, or third in something like this, you can easily take that and put that on your resume and take it to a legal grower here in California and maybe get a job with them. You're probably not going to get head grower, but maybe an assistant grower. At the very least, you could get your foot in the door. And if you don't want to get a job in the industry, that's cool too, man. But you can go around and tell your friends that, hey, you know what? I'm an award-winning grower. And on the other side of that, if you're an ambitious person who wants to get into the cannabis industry, it doesn't have to be cultivating, growing, in any part of it. If you've got the hustle and the drive and some talent, these are great places to go meet people that are in the industry and get yourself known. On top of that, the proceeds go to help Safe Harbor Kids Charity. And what they do is they help local orphans, foster kids, and homeless children. I think that's a great idea because it helps show everyone that the cannabis community isn't just about helping cannabis patients. That we also have social responsibilities outside of our own people. So go over to inmygrow.com. At the top right, there's a link that says WeedCon 2018. On that post, there are links to the event's website. There's a link for the entry form for the Weed Cup, and there's a link for the entry form if you want to be a corporate sponsor. If you're a cannabis-related company that wants to get more exposure, become a corporate sponsor. I love this idea of helping young people. And so you're going to hear me talk about this event until October 26th, which is when this happens. So go over to the website, weedcon2018.com, and check it out. And that's mostly what I had going on in my social media. So next, let's do the report from the cannabis front line. Manhattan's district attorney is moving to vacate misdemeanor marijuana warrants. He appeared in court to move to dismiss 3,000 marijuana cases dating back to 1978. Well, thank you, Mr. Manhattan District Attorney. Man, that's a long time, 1978? Jesus Christ, that's 40 years. Really, a 40-year-old misdemeanor cannabis case? I'll talk about that stuff following you around, man. Okay, next, U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, one of Congress's more ardent drug warriors, signed on as a co-sponsor to the STATES Act to remove the threat of federal intervention and prosecution in states that regulate marijuana use and sales. Well, it's about time, Dianne Feinstein. Hey, that almost rhymes. Now let's just move towards declassifying it, huh? Also, New Mexico's health secretary approved adding obstructive sleep apnea as a medical cannabis qualifying condition, but rejected adding opioid addiction, muscular dystrophy, Tourette syndrome, eczema, and psoriasis. Well, that's too bad. All that tells me is that we need a lot more education for those politicians out in New Mexico. Not just in New Mexico, a bunch of other states. New Mexico is just an example. And I got that information off of the NORML website. That is normal.org. Go over there, get educated, and become a member. So sometimes I have a hard time finding transitions from one part of my notes to the other. So a lot of times I'll just say, and next. I wish there was like a smoother way. Because, it's all about the transition, I guess. Okay. So, I want to talk about hemp-derived CBD. I try to steer people I know away from CBD derived from hemp for a lot of reasons. For a few reasons. But I understand also that in some parts of the country, the only thing you can get is hemp-derived CBD. So I want to go over a few things that I've learned and just a few suggestions on how to find the highest quality hemp-derived CBD. So in case you didn't know, the 2014 Farm Bill defines hemp as cannabis with no more than 0.3% THC in any part of the plant. If the THC level tops 0.3, it's considered to be marijuana under federal law. Okay. Also, both THC and CBD come mainly from the leaves, resin, or flower tops of the plant, not the stems. Almost all products that contain THC also contain CBD. But sometimes you'll find what's called CBD isolate, that's just CBD by itself. Now, just so you know, hemp oil, the kind that's found in soaps and lotions, some cosmetics, it's not the same as CBD oil. Hemp oil mostly come from the seeds, and the seeds carry very little CBD, like trace amounts. Hemp oil is really good for you, though. I use hemp oil instead of fish oil because it's just as good for me, and I don't have to worry about the mercury content like I would with fish oil. That's a concern, is mercury in fish. But hemp seed oil and CBD oil are not the same thing. Something else that's also out there on the internet is you'll find some CBD oil companies say that their oil is loaded with phytocannabinoids, which is a little bit confusing because phyto just means that it's plant derived or it comes from a plant. That doesn't necessarily mean that those cannabinoids came from cannabis. Okay, because we've discovered some cannabinoids can be found in other plants. Industrial fiber hemp is good for just that, to make fiber, to make rope, textiles, concrete. But hemp is not very good at making cannabinoids like CBD. All that means is that whatever cannabinoids were missing from that hemp-derived CBD, they're going to add it from somewhere else. And that bothers me because they don't really know what amount of the cannabinoids to put in. They're just adding it because it's missing. So it's not a whole plant mixture. It's a little kind of science together. Now, if you're looking for some high CBD strains, I would suggest looking for a Harlequin or a Sour Tsunami. There's a hybrid of both of those called Harlessu. Another one is a Jamaican Lion, the ACDC, Charlotte's Web. Those are all cannabis strains that are high in CBD. Now, when you're choosing a CBD product, you want to choose the purest, cleanest CBD product you can, because cannabis and hemp are bioaccumulators, so that means they suck up everything in the soil. And if you get your oil from a country that's not regulated, you could wind up with a pretty dirty product. So I suggest finding CBD oil that comes from America or Canada, someplace where CBD oil is regulated and tested, because you don't want something that's going to make you sicker. Another thing you should do is look for a full spectrum oil, or a whole plant oil sometimes it's called, because it's better than an isolate than just CBD by itself. It has more therapeutic value when the CBD is combined with other cannabinoids instead of just by itself. When you're reading the labels for some of these products, you want to find out the amount of CBD or THC that they have per serving, not just the total amount that's in that bottle or that package. That's important to you. Another thing you have to be aware of is that it's illegal for companies to say their CBD products are going to help specific conditions. So if you're reading a company that says, yes, we're going to help with this specific condition and this, steer away from them, because that's illegal and they're probably not going to be around very long. Also, kind of steer away from companies, and there are some out there that want to sign you up right away for recurring purchases for something that you need to buy monthly. If you're going to do that, at least try the product first. Take it for about a month or two, see if it really works for you, because some companies are just ruthless out there. They don't care. And if you have any questions about the oil, don't be afraid to call that company up and write down your questions. Call them up and see what they tell you. If you don't get an answer, Don't call them back. Move on to another company. Well, I hope that helped clear up some of the confusion around hemp-derived, around CBD oil that comes from hemp. I got this information from Project CBD and Consumer Reports. If you have any more questions about CBD, go to projectcbd.org. They've got a whole bunch of information up there. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to take a short break, get some water, get hydrated. While I do that, I'm going to play that phone call that I had with Patri, who is one of the organizers of WeedCon 2018. So hang tight, I'll play some music, and I'll have that for you right now.
When you preach about it, everyone that's done got a belt of bullet. You don't have no gun, just a boat fashion. Got no thoughts of your own.
Well, everybody, I'm back. And like I said, I've got Patri with me, and she's one of the organizers of WeedCon and WeedCup 2018. Patri, welcome to the show.
Hello, great to have me here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving us this time to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah, so, I was real surprised to see, because I started seeing advertisement for this event maybe about a month ago, maybe a little longer. And I was surprised because Ojai hasn't had recreational sales of cannabis maybe a month.
Well, we actually were at the city council meeting. We were presenting our event that we did with Little Feet at Topa Mountain Winery that was sold out, the benefit for Safety Harbor kids. And we heard the city council talk about how were changing the laws, and they had passed a law for legal recreation, marijuana and cannabis, and that it was to benefit the community members and also to expand upon tourism. So we hit upon it that it would be an awesome way for Safety Harbor Kids, which is the charity I've been working with since 2007 that benefits orphans, foster, and homeless children, to raise funds. So it is a new $50 billion soon-to-be industry. And rather than fighting with the 1% to try to get the money to help the orphans, foster, and homeless kids in our backyard, we thought we would open up to these business owners and to our community members and have the first World Entrepreneurs Economic Development Conference, WeedCon 2018, on October 26th here in Ojai, California.
The WeedCon and the WeedCup, they're two separate events but the same event?
Well, what we've done, we're really blessed to have Ojai Greens come in as our presenting sponsor of the event. WeedCon is producing the entire conference, and what is going on within that conference, we have quite a lot of amazing, great things happening. It is, first and foremost, we've got networking, we have a business expo, we have speakers and educators coming to tell people about where the industry is going, about the medical uses and how it can benefit them in this community, whether it be somebody with cancer, someone with epileptic seizures, or it be somebody in the later stages of life. And so there's some really amazing things with CBD and THC that we can do to relieve pain and help fight the epidemic opiate situation that we have going on. So we're doing that by bringing educators and communities together during the day, where we're going to have our business expo, and we're going to be having speakers talking about different subjects. And then we have musicians and artists, and we have some amazing special guests scheduled to come. Right now we have Shaky Feeling, we have After the Smoke, and we also have Groove Session coming to rock the party. It's going to be opened with Olivia Fleming, our own Miss Lovely from Ojai, with her mother, Asante Fleming. Yeah, and then we've got Jamie Fleming, the head of the Chamber of Commerce, will be emceeing the event. And it's all going to go on throughout the day. We're going to have music. We're going to have business expo. We're going to have vendors, speakers. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have long shot cappuccinos, Charles & Company organic tea. All of our great sponsors and supporters that have been with Safety Harbor Kids for many years are coming on board to help the WeedCon event. So, and we also have on-site hotel rooms. We're going to be launching our Weed and Wine Tour experience which is going to be really fun. You get on a bus, and we're going to take you to the weederys and to the wineries, and then you come back to the party. And then at the end of the evening, when everybody's gone away, our sponsors and our hotel guests are going to have a private Michelin chef dinner with Chris Sage. So it's a pretty amazing experience. So, and then we have, well, prior to that, we'll be judging the WeedCon Cup. And what the WeedCon Cup is, it's much like the different companies, or many companies, whether it's best product, best artistic product, best CBD lotion, best flower, a lot of different great categories. So vendors, we even have an amateurs category. So everybody can get involved. The winners are going to get to have their photograph taken and branded by Getty Images. We'll have our WeedCon girls and men there to get their photographs taken on the green carpet. So it's a pretty amazing day we've got set up.
I want to mention that part of the now, is it part of the ticket sales or all of the ticket sales go to Safe Harbor for Kids?
All of the ticket sales go to help Safety Harbor Kids. And if you go to safetyharborkids.org, you can read about us. We have been helping local orphans, foster and homeless children since 2007. We have a real epidemic right in our backyard here. And people go, I do Darfur, I do Sudan, and I say, Melissa's going to be on the streets in 300 days. What happens to these kids is 80% end up homeless when they hit 18. 60% end up in prison. And then our girls, they get propositioned for prostitution within 48 hours of hitting the streets in Ventura. So we really need to make a difference. As leaders in our community, it is our responsibility to step up and break that cycle and change these children's lives. We have girls that we serve that are rape traffic victims from our backyard. And that is just not acceptable in my mind. So we are taking these young ladies and young men, we are teaching them etiquette, manners, how to get a job, how to go to school, and how to get into college. We're getting them job placements, and we're getting them scholarships. And that is how you break the cycle of homelessness, poverty, and prison. We can't do it by ourselves. We got devastated through the Thomas Fire. The 1% charities came on in, took all of the money, and left goodbye, gave some people some sieves and a little gift certificate to the Goodwill, and took all of the funds and resources, leaving charities like Safety Harbor Kids after the Thomas Fire just devastated. We went into the holidays with nothing in the coffers, but yet we still gave over 1,000 kids toys. Yeah, and we figured, there's a major industry here and a new opportunity to actually give these other businesses a chance to do what the Fortune 500 companies have done and give back to charity and really make a difference in your own backyard.
No, I think that's a great idea, just having that social responsibility, especially from cannabis companies or companies related to cannabis. It's a great thing. It really is. And, we've been blessed at Safety Harbor Kids. We've had Jackson Browns on our board. He's done concerts for us. We've got the guys with Little Feet. Reese Witherspoon has donated toys. Malcolm McDowell has been our spokesperson. It's just amazing the wealth and depth of talent and people that come and give to the cause. But it's really the almighty dollar that keeps the children off the streets. So that's why we get creative, we reach out, and we ask you guys to help. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. That's, everybody will come, a lot of people come out for weed. So now let's get back to the convention itself. So the first part of the day is going to be business oriented. Let's say, okay, so what can I expect when I show up for the first part of the day? Well, business with pleasure, of course. Well, yeah. You have to educate under fun, right? Sure. So we are going to have music starting up probably around 2 o'clock. The speakers will start around 1 o'clock. Our guests will gather. We will have badass burgers there serving food. So we are going to have an amazing event. You'll show up around 1 o'clock. We're going to have speakers, educators. We're going to have vendors with all sorts of amazing products to show you, whether they're healing products, educational products, or just fun products. We're going to have a lot of really great things to show you. And then we're going to have music. And the show's just going to keep going. It starts at 1 o'clock, goes straight till 9:30.
Around 4:20, we are going to have our headliner band is going to break out, a lot of fun going on. And then we're going to go straight till 9:30. Then we're going to close down, and then it'll be a private dinner for the sponsors and hotel guests. So if you come, and also if you want to join the Weed Wine Tour, what you're going to be doing is you come to the event, you come, you play, you go hop on the Cool Buzz party bus, we take you to a couple of venues, and then you come back. So it's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of spinning wheels and a lot of things to do, and no one will get bored. It is an over 21 event. It's really important to say that because we really want to make sure we know this is for adults, but it does benefit orphans and homeless children.
Perfect. That's exactly what we need. I just want to say something to everybody. This is a perfect opportunity. If you've got a cannabis-related business and you're wondering how to network, events like this is the perfect way to do it because you truly do meet your peers and people who are just like-minded. So if you've got a cannabis-related business, I encourage you to come out to this event and to sign up for it and buy some tickets for it because it's going to be a really fun time. And
yeah, we even have Getty Images coming out to brand our companies. Like I said, we're bringing to this industry what I've brought for the past 12 years to Tesla Motors, to Bentley, to Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, Hintwater. We're bringing to this industry what we've brought to the Fortune 500 companies. That's the opportunity to give back to charity, the opportunity to brand your company, to show it in a positive light, and to meet the movers and the shakers in the industry.
So now, a big question is, are we going to be able to burn one down on site? Can we consume?
Well, it is a private event. It will be a closed private event. And I'm not your police. Legal recreation is allowed here in Ohio. So that's where that is right now, as that stands. And we've had many beautiful events in this community, and it's just the great people. They come out, they have fun, and it's so funny because I've never even had problems with an alcohol event. So I have nothing but the top caliber people that come. They're people that care about charity, they care about their community, they want to have fun, they want to learn, and they want to educate. So we really draw a beautiful crowd of amazing high caliber people that attend WeedCon 2018 or Safety Here for Kids events. You can always go to WeedCon2018.com to check out the hotel rooms available, the different events and experiences that we have throughout the day at ticket levels, as well as there's a link there for Safety Here for Kids.
So that's also a really good idea to have to have hotel rooms on site because
exactly.
Because one, you don't want to be Ubering around everywhere. I mean, Uber's fine, but to have a hotel room where you're going to be partying down is pretty good. That's pretty nice.
It's so much fun. We have the on-site party, and that way you get to stay there. And then if you don't stay there and you need a ride home, we have the Cool Buzz bus to take you home.
Oh, nice. So now the Weed Cup, you said there's going to be different categories?
Oh, yeah. Well, we have so many amazing companies that have come on board. Right now we're working with WeedCona, Candescent, Papa Barkley's, Mary's Medicinals, Rise, Brass Knuckles, LA Kush, Cushy Punch. I mean, these are just amazing products and companies that really a lot of them are just there to make people's lives better and to heal them and make them healthy and things of that sort. So we're going to have a lot of different categories within it, whether it be the healing products or it be the flower products. And those are all, we have many different entering. There's also the Edibles Cup. Our Chris Sage, our Michelin chef, who is going to be doing the 5-course pairing dinner, will also be one of the judges of our edible contest.
Wait, but how is that going to work? I mean, doesn't edibles take a little while to come on and then...
Oh, it happens before the event. The judging is done prior to the event. No one is expected to do anything all at one time.
See, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
And not responsible.
Where are you going to lock everybody in?
No, it is all about
that makes
responsible
sense.
consumption.
See,
Those are our words.
I'm glad you're in charge of stuff like that, because me, I'd be like, all right, here's your plate full of edibles.
No. Everything's being monitored. We really control everything to make sure that everybody does everything responsibly. So that will be prior to weeks before, and then the announcement will be made at the event.
Oh, right on. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
so it's going to be a blast. We've got everything. We've got rooms. We've got music. We've got food. We've got the cappuccinos and the tea and the great vendors out there to participate and great things to purchase and a great cause. And we're going to have some pretty sexy special guests that I'm not announcing yet. But it's going to happen.
I like
both
that.
Celebrity and music. Well, we have our celebrity gifting suites as well, so that's going to bring when it comes with that.
Okay. Yeah, it really does sound like it's going to be a great time. And I just want to touch on one thing that you mentioned earlier, and that is the category for amateur growers for the Weed Cup.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got a family member or a friend.
Yes. So I want to take this moment to call to arms to all the home growers who say they grow the fire. Bring it out. Enter it.
That's it.
Put it up.
Go to WeedCon.com and enter your contest, and the bragging rights are so worth it.
But not just that. But not just that. So if you place as an amateur in one of these cups, you can easily, because I'm always being asked by home growers, hey, how do I get into the business? Well, it's not easy, but it's not hard. It's not impossible. This is a great way to show commercial growers what you can do.
No kidding.
If you want to put that on a resume and say, look, I won the Weed Cup 2018. I got whatever, first, second, third place, whatever it was. So this is a great way that someone can just take that and, just use it to their advantage.
I love what you just said. Put it on your resume. What a new generation we're in, huh? Would you ever think that you're going to put that on your resume?
I love living in the future. Are you kidding me?
Oh, we're just so blessed at Safety Harbor Kids to have companies like High Greens and Cannabis and WeedCona and Papa Barkley and that really see the cause of what we're doing and throw down and participate. And so we're just so excited for everybody to go to WeedCon.com, 2018.com. That's Weed, WEED Con, 2018.com. Get your tickets, because I guarantee you, like every other event I've done, we will be sold out, and we'll be sold out early. They will cry, and all I could do is say, oh, I'm sorry. So make sure you get your tickets and join the party.
All they're going to be able to do is just, follow it on Instagram. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a live Facebook feed, too.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. And we also have a couple radio stations coming out. We've got 101 Cannabis Talk, and we also have Dash Purple Haze coming out, doing live feeds from the event.
Hey, so that's what I wanted to ask you. So did you come up with the idea and then approach High Greens, or did they approach you?
Well, I'm a producer. I've been producing for many, many years. I'm a member of the Producers Guild and a director, and been running Safety Harbor Kids. I have a PR company called On the Nose PR, and we're always coming up with new creative ways to raise money, funds, and get outreach for our companies. And so we came up with the idea of WeedCon 2018. And High Greens and Fespi were both sponsors of our Little Feet concert that we did at Topa Mountain Winery. So I reached out, and High Greens wanted to become the presenters on this event. So we're thrilled to have them as our presenting sponsor. And we've had a long history of producing amazing events. So they're all sold out, and people have nothing but phenomenal things to say. And I have to say, if I say it myself, there's no party like a Petri party, and my name is Petri, so I can't wait to see you at my party.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody over there at High Greens. It's a great place, a great bunch of people.
Beautiful facility.
Yeah, it truly is. Nice open floor space. Well, Petri, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Is there anything else you want to mention before we go?
I just think you're all amazing. I really want to thank you for your time and really love our community of Ojai. I'm just so thrilled to be a member here and have their support and participation. So thank you to everybody for making it possible for us to serve Safety Harbor kids and make a difference in your backyard. So come on out to WeedCon2018.com, join the party, have some fun, celebrate, and make a difference.
Right on. Well, don't go anywhere, Patru. Everybody else,
Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm put on some music, so hang tight.
Yes, man. Hey. Too many people are dying to get to the top. So many people are dying to reach to the top.
All right, mi gente, my people, I'm back. I want to thank Patri again for her time. Sounds like they're going to put on a really cool event out there. You will definitely see me there. Get your tickets early because this thing is going to sell out. Well, brothers and sisters, that's all I have for you today. Those are all my notes. And don't forget, if you want to support the show financially, go to patreon.com, find In My Grow Show, throw a couple of bucks my way. Or if you don't want to do that, go to inmygrow.com and buy a t-shirt. Just go to the support the show link at the top of the page. Now that money just helps me keep the show going. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Or just go to the website, subscribe to the website, and you'll get updates when new content goes up. If you have a question, you can email that to me at inmygrow@gmail.com, or even easier, find me on Instagram at inmygrow. Now, if you're a cannabis-related company that wants to advertise on the show or sponsor any portion of the show, like let's say the strain of the week, same kind of thing, email me and we'll get it together. Well, everyone, like I said, I'm going to get up out of here. I love you all very much. And don't forget to grow, learn, and teach.
Listen. Can it race with the clock? Oh no. 'Cause you know it's never stop. Alright, drum and bass, now take it easy. Alright, and take it slow. Oh yes, and take it easy. Alright, and take it slow. Oh yes, just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little love that we want. Hey, just a little love that we need to keep us alright, to keep us together. Oh yeah, keep us together. Alright, keep us alright. Oh yeah, hey, just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need to keep us alright. Alright, to keep us together. To keep us together. To keep us together. Alright, to keep us together. Alright, keep us forever. Oh yeah, take it down together. Alright, to keep us together. Alright, just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little bit of love. Just a little love that we want. Keep us alright. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Roots Rock Reggae in the house tonight.